well, here we are. We just saw UnderSee, a beautiful stop motion animated film that I find completely mesmerizing from the first image. And it's one of the most. I'll add that. Well, this is Margie Kelk, and you co-directed and co-wrote the film, and you're what is a multidisciplinary artist. I think I saw in your bio. And I just want to let you know that your film is probably the most popular film in my household, because I've shown it to the lady, and I showed it to the 12-year-old woman, and everybody just can't take their eyes off of it. It's really a very beautiful, special film, and I just want you to know that had we shown it to a nice theater with 65, 75 people sitting there, I think the hands would be going up, and people would just be telling you that the undersea. First of all, I love the title UnderSee. That we don't even see that world enough, and see the pollution that we're causing. But the way you start off the reef and show these incredible creatures, I just think it's visually stunning. And then seeing the pollution come in, and then the blue guys deal with it a bit, but it seems to be harming them. I just think it's just the best. I love your film. So just picture the whole theater gave a nice little applause at the end.
Well, thank you. That's nice to hear.
And the obvious question is, as someone who works in lots of artistic disciplines, what drew you to this one, and where did the idea come from?
Well, it's an interesting question, because a lot of the time I've worked. Lynn is my friend, and also she's the one who, she actually does the animation more than I do. She's very technical, and she's actually oh wait.
Yeah, actually, we lost your video. There we go.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we're all good.
Is an engineer. Actually, was an engineer by training, and she went into animation, and she's phenomenal. I met her, and I had been to Antarctica. I've also been to French Polynesia, so I've seen a lot of coral reefs and underwater life, and I've also seen what's happening with the pollution there. The reefs are dying, and I don't have to tell anyone, we all know that. So what happened was, I'm quite passionate, definitely passionate about Antarctica and about most of anything wildlife oriented. So I've done a lot of sculpting for fun. I mean, I started out with doing very strange heads, and then they were in another film, and then I started thinking about the marine life, and I made a head that actually I didn't like it very much, but Lynn said, it's a fish. That's why you don't like the head. So it was female. We stuck a tail on it, and now it's a fish. So then I had made other little funny creatures, and we decided they were going to people in underwater world. And we were going to try to show the results of pollution, but it's a tough time. You can't, the best way to show the results of pollution is just show pollution and then go black. That's the end of your film. It's the end of it all. But you can't do that, because, you just can't say, you bloody assholes, you're making a mess of things, goodbye. So that's why we did this other thing. We started with the beauty that was there, and then slowly showing the effects of pollution. And I mean, I didn't think of some of the stuff, but I loved the fact she got the boat over them, so there's a shadow coming over the people, and then you can see it was actually female, believe it or not, the black stuff coming down. We just, you can play with it. It looks like oil. But we played a lot with that, and then we enjoyed it, and it was funny. We never write anything out. This is our biggest problem. We're working on another one now, and it takes us like 2 years to figure out what we want to say, because we're just off. We don't follow any rules. There's no sequence. But this one just sort of, it grew out of itself. She'd say, well, what do you think those things are doing? And I'm going, I don't know, let's try this. So that's how we did the whole thing. Let's try this and let's try that. So we would giggle, and we would say, no, it's very hard to make marble. The glass marbles I did make, but you can't glue them onto coral, so it's very hard. I used museum putty. It's tough to make them stick. So we were pulling our hair out half the time and laughing and crying because we wanted the eyes. They were the little glass eyes. They had to follow everywhere. So the whole thing here was we just kept going on it because it was something we wanted. We realized we wanted to show pollution. We realized we couldn't end the world. We have to have a black something other, which was a beautiful scene when you have the boat in a blue light and jellyfish are flying above it. But we spent a long time trying to work this one out so that it would not, you can't turn people off, and you want their interest, but you do want to tell them there is a problem here. So that's the reason we were doing it, is because we want them to know there's a big problem there. But on the other hand, how do you do that? It's really tough to do that. So
Yeah, and the process of doing animation is so time consuming.
forever.
And it sounds like you worked improvisation into it.
We did. There was a lot, we called it experimental film, but for us, it was a complete and utter experiment. I mean, I found there was a ship in there, a sort of dead ship. Well, I got that from somebody in Florida who said, "You want this?" So yeah, I wanted it. It was once a beautiful ship, but I mean, I brought that home and we said, "Well, can we use this?" So we did, and this is how we did it all, because we were sort of learning as we went along and figuring out, what do we find here? So it was sort of like discovering, as a person would when they're doing snorkeling or scuba diving. You're trying to see that. So that's how we envisioned it. But we honestly did not know until the very end where we were going to go. And then we had the scenes with the jellyfish. I've done a lot with jellyfish. I've sculpted them, I've drawn them and stuff like that. So she actually, to make the jellyfish, she took drawings of mine and animated them. That's all she did. So, we used a lot of different stuff that we had managed to approve.
Yeah, so the jellyfish were actually drawn because, yeah, so much of it looks like clay or sculpty or something, and then obviously the jellyfish, I'm like, well, you couldn't craft something translucent.
I've done Olympics, which actually our science museum is now auctioning them off, for charity. I've done them, but it's hard, and you can't animate all those legs; they fall off. Maybe, well, if you're Disney, you can, but I'm not. So, the sculpting is good, but it's half the time we'd lose a leg or an arm anyway because it gets dry. You have to know how to deal with it. So it's not a really, lovely thing to work with, but it was what we could work with, because if we used regular modeling clay, that doesn't hold up, and anything that was harder, then it gets hard. So, and both of us, neither one of us says, she studied animation. I've never done that. So I just say, well, we got to do this. We got to make this move. Pipe cleaners, and then it doesn't. So there's a lot of playing around with stuff. But we did have a lot of colors of stuff. I will say that.
Well, and I think if we had the pleasure of not having a pandemic and having a live audience, I'm sure someone would have asked by now. So how long was the process from start to finish?
Really 3 years.
3 years.
Well, because it takes so bloody long to get your storyline. When we're two of us, and we keep thinking, well, somebody is much better. They'll make a whole storyline. We're not good at that, because I don't know, we seem to, the two of us come up with these ridiculous ideas, and then we start thinking, how do we do this? And the best way we seem to work is by putting stuff on a table and moving it around and seeing how it's going to move. We've done this already with the first one we did, and that was successful as well. But we're not good at, she keeps saying to me, the next one, let's make sure we know how it ends. We don't even know the beginning, much less the end of them. So we're doing one on Antarctica now with actual footage of Antarctica that I had, and lonely people, and people turning into penguins, and penguins turning into people. It's going to be a phenomenal film when we finish it, but it's going on 2.5 years because we're still.
I mean, but it's understandable, especially stop motion. The fact that every second we see is you taking 30, 25 to 30 pictures?
Yeah. And I mean, as I said, she does, we take them, we have a set actually in my basement. We, we have the table, and we put a black barrier all around it, except where we were moving with our hands. And then we set up the stuff there. But it is so slow. And then and then obviously you're going to have some takes you don't want, and you're going to do other things with them. But everything we do, then she'll often go into Photoshop and fix lighting and fix in After Effects, because you can get some things glowing and some things not, and coming out of this or that. And I know in this last film we had, the pollution was turning brownish. That's After Effects. Leave a bit on. That works. But a lot of it is, two amateurs playing around in their basements, frankly. And we've been really lucky because the first one got a lot of, people liking it. And this one's a much, much bigger success even than that one. So we're quite happy with it.
I'm glad you're happy with it, because I just think it's beautiful. I think besides the message, it's just from the first image of the face. Now I'm very happy that you told the story of how you sculpted a face, and then your friend said, "Well, wait, that's a fish," because I even think it's so smart that your undersea life sort of has a human face, even though it's a fish. I think it pulls us in and makes us anthropomorphize or just identify more with that undersea life.
Well, exactly. You have to have a hook, something that'll bring people into it. And, she talked about that, and then I started thinking about it too. So, and then those funny little creatures that are there, I was making them anyway, just because I was playing. And one day she said, "Well, we got to use the funny creatures." Well, all right, let's do it. So it's sort of like what's in my toy box. So, I do most. And then the set itself, we went to a PJ's Pet Shop and got all sorts of coral-looking plastic. And I used to keep marine fish, so I had some of the coral anyway. But and now I would not keep marine fish at all, etc. But you sort of rack your whole brain and you start using this one and that one, and especially with stop motion, because there's nobody who can just come in and say something and it's all fine. It doesn't work that way. And then pulling it all together, we would take, I don't know, each day would be one or two scenes, and then you had to pull them all together, and then the music actually was fantastic because we used that first. Believe it or not, we sort of like this strange, weird, wonky music, and we started putting scenes to it. it sounds even weirder, right? I mean, we had the way it began, but then we would slow it or make it whatever, make it fit it. Whatever.
Yeah, I think actually I think that's how a lot of a lot of animation, you lay down the audio first and then you.
Why is that? That's interesting.
Yeah.
Now we're working with a composer, but he wants to do it after we've done the animation. That's hard on us.
That's really hard. I think even the massive Pixar films, they record all the voices and then they animate it for 3 years.
That's interesting. I did not know that. See, there's something. Yeah. I didn't know that either. She said it's true. We get this music and then we could do this scene to it. That'd be good.
Yeah, the music's absolutely beautiful. Yeah, the music's wonderful too.
I hate to say it. I will mention it is my older brother who's been doing this strange. He plays any instrument. They're all weird. They're all strange ones from all around the world. And he loves doing this. And so I basically asked, "Can we use your music?" So we've used it for 2 films. We picked out something, and he said he didn't know what we were doing. We'll go ahead. He had no idea, actually. He'd already done the music, so he wasn't part of it. And then when we sent it to him, he said, "Oh my God." So it worked out well. We were lucky because his sounds were not, we don't want pretty, nice music. I mean, he had strange sounds, which is what we wanted.
Absolutely. It creates a whole new world under there. Well, I wanted to, you mentioned Lynn, but it's Lynn Slater and Margie Kelk, the 2 of you together make all this. So please give our warmest regards to Lynn. Tell her that
unfortunately couldn't come, couldn't be here, but
Ah,
I,
fine.
she's always, we're both, we've gotten a few awards, or we've done well with this film, and we're going, wow, what did he see in it? Okay, all right, well, we'll accept it. That's fine. So
That's
we're happy.
wonderful. That's wonderful. And I would normally close a Q&A like this by asking you if there's any contributors or collaborators that you didn't get to mention yet. But I think this film was pretty much you and Lynn doing it in your basement and borrowing your brother's music.
That's, we actually had nobody else. Yeah. And then, which is funny, you go to a festival, right? And they have about 6 or 8 people who work on something, and you sit there and go, I'm sorry, just me, but that's what it is.
But
So,
it came out all that matters is it came out the way you wanted. So that's great.
so far, she said there's some things she would have done, to spiff it up even more, but I think we're fine.
I think so too. Well, thank you so much. It was great to meet you.
Thank you. Thank you for the phone call. That's great.
And
And
congratulations on a beautiful film.
thank you. And even with COVID, there's so much on the internet. We're probably seeing more than we would have before. Who knows?
Oh yeah,
But
yeah. Our June festival, normally, we have about 1,500 to 2,000 people come in and out of the theater over the course of 4 days, and it was 4,000 viewers watching 6,000 films. So it does expand it more.
yeah, so look on the bright side of that and see what you can think.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. And I can do this without leaving home. So,
yeah. Oh, we right. I had to comb my hair. Oh well. Anyway,
all right. Well, it was a pleasure. I'm sorry I got to run and do another one, but
so thank you very much.
yeah,
I,
thank you,
I
and please pass our praise over to Lynn as well.
that and thanks for letting it go onto the onto the. Okay.
All right,
Have a
thank you.
good afternoon. I guess you're just approaching that. Anyway.
Well, it's almost lunchtime, but
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, have a good day then.
all right, thanks.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.